Once again, Higurashi, When They Cry, throws me for a loop. I am blown away by this episode's direction. Once again, just, Keiichi, my boy, you should just be a normal kid. Stop opening doors, stop going into sheds, play some video games, and just enjoy your life. Because holy shit, things are getting spicy. The Rika content at the end of the episode threw me for a loop. I wasn't expecting it in the slightest. What I personally assumed was going to happen, because I still don't know what's going on, the way they're making everything happen, because they're doing such a great job at being a show for old fans and a show for new fans like myself, that it just gives everyone a different experience, which is amazing to me. And I thought what was going to happen was it's going to tie into something like when we got that Rika intro, I think it was episode 2, where you see older one or maybe a sister and then younger one. I thought maybe was she getting some information? Was she going to be doing something to maybe do a rewind? I was like, where are we going here? I wasn't expecting horror scene. I wasn't expecting red eyes galore. And I was like, okay, are you evil? I don't know. Seemingly she wants to prevent bad things from happening. But I would assume preventing bad things from happening wouldn't be looking like a demon, but this is Higurashi for you. You don't know what you're getting. Our boy, I really do feel like he's getting blamed for a lot of things right now, and I'm like, my boy, he's making some mistakes, but I don't think anyone can realize opening a door by trusting your friend is going to get you killed, or, being a little bit of a bad boy, a bad kitty going to a shed. I mean, he kind of was dragged there in a certain sense, and it's not like he was wanting to touch anything or break anything. I mean, the head comes crashing down, it cracks, apparently it was already cracked. It's hard to say who he can trust, and the fact that you feel like you're getting closer to, once again, another reset and starting a new timeline potentially, it's hard to say where they want to go, but that's kind of the beauty of Higurashi. The Xion and Mion situation is really compelling to me, because I really like not knowing who you're actually talking with. During the phone conversation after the festival, I have a strong feeling it wasn't Xion, but actually Mion. The fact that she was asking questions like, hey, we did this and did this, it sounded to me like she was trying to piece together what she assumed happened with her sister, and I feel like that's bad. I'm wondering if the information that he gave to certain characters caused certain actions to happen, because the whole idea that the two stole a van to get away because they feared for their life, it's hard to say if them going in the shed saved their life or got them killed, because we don't know what happened last time. So are things still happening in a similar way just now? For whatever reason, bad things didn't happen in the shed, so it happened in the forest. You don't really know, and that's what's very fun, and I think what makes Higurashi such a compelling show for me is that when you see similar turns of events, you're like, okay, the festival, last time we watched the dance and this is what happened. This time we didn't watch the dance, this is what happens. What's going to happen in the third time? Because you feel like that's going to happen. You feel like this is going to be a failure. It's going to end in Keiichi either killing someone or he's going to get killed himself. It feels like there is no good path. And I think that's kind of like what ties with Rika's dialogue being like, it feels like she's kind of projecting her own thoughts in this situation, and clearly she knows more. But at the same time, it almost felt like a split personality to me, because it very well could be something with the demon away, but at the same time, I don't think the innocent act is really an innocent act. I don't know, a part of me wants to say Rika had a split personality there. On the other hand, it could just be her acting like an innocent kid to manipulate the chessboard, and that's really fun not knowing what you can think about a character. Because right now, the character who we thought was the biggest psychopath seemingly is the most normal in this arc. Because, well, she kind of did bring a box lunch of death, and now she seemingly is the most normal. And now, the whole Mion, Xion, and Rika situation is very interesting not knowing who you can trust here. And you get some very good information about the whole Demon Away, and the idea that demons were pretty much ingrained into a village, and then over years, kind of with breeding and mingling with normal humans, the whole idea that certain demons would then want to demon away, basically kidnap people for their feeding. And the creepiest part of this entire episode, to me, even more creepy than Demonic Eyes Rika, was when you look at the pitchforks, the gardening tools, and they're basically called utensils and serving forks and things like that. I'm like, oh, well, if this show wasn't creepy enough, you gotta make me creeped out even more. The quick flick of the light and seeing all the torture tools really did throw me for a loop. I assume that's probably what was going to be in there, but still, just to see it so briefly, it really did bring a shiver to yourself, and that's what makes this episode so crazy. It's very hard to say because it doesn't feel like we're resetting yet. It feels like we're going to carry on next week, and I don't know what's going to happen. I have a suspicion that if they really did get killed or demoned away, it feels as if, honestly, I feel like our boy's about to do some bad things. That's kind of what it's feeling like, because he's starting to look rather paranoid. He's not sleeping, he's got bags under his eyes. And it felt like he was really trying his best to figure out what's happening. He's the new kid on the block, he doesn't know about all this stuff, he's scared about all this stuff. And I actually like his idea of like, because from his point of view, it's a child, so he used kittens. Like, oh, 4 bad kitties went into a shed. He really just wanted to see like what an innocent person would say, and then what he got was nightmare fuel for days. I'm interested to see if he's going to be the cause of all the death in this arc, or if he's going to be, once again, another victim by the looks of it. That's exciting to me. This show is doing a great job at really making the mystery first and foremost, rather than just saying this is a slasher horror flick. When we get it, it's impressive, it's graphic, it's gory, it does blow us away, but that's not what I'm excited to see. When it happens, I'm shocked, I'm in awe. But the thing I'm always excited about is the answer to the mystery. And when we do get an answer, it feels like they open up 10 new mysteries. This clearly is a show with direction. It's clearly a show with subtle foreshadowing and major foreshadowing. And all I hear about from people who watched the original anime or played the game was that these small deviations that they make this time around completely change the entire timeline and what they can do in this story now. And then for someone like me, and for the many thousands of people watching this show, is that who's never experienced Higurashi before, we're just looking at it as is. So you get these two very unique experiences, which I honestly don't recall ever seeing an anime at least do so well, that it actually works as both old and new alike, and each have an equally enjoyable experience. And that's what's really fun about this. This continues to be one of the most impressive shows of the season. Without a doubt, Thursdays are the best day of the week for anime. You get Akudama Drive, you get Higurashi, and both of those shows carry this day into another territory and level, both from production, storytelling, characters. Everything is just remarkable. The only thing that kind of disappointed me about this episode, and it's a personal preference for me, just the way my eyes work, I have a very hard time seeing in the dark, like more than most people. So anytime, whether it's video games, live action movies, anime, if they're in a dark location for a long time, it's very hard for me to tell what the hell's going on. Personally, this is just my preference. I wish the brightness was up like 2 notches. It just felt very hard to see a lot of time, and for like 15 minutes of this episode, it felt like we were in pitch black. It was just hard for me to follow what was happening. I had to rewind quite a few times. I don't think this is even really a negative for the episode, because most people like those darker scenes. It's just the way my eyes work. So for me personally, it just felt like I really had to like really focus more than usual. It does give the moody atmosphere, don't get me wrong, but that's just how my eyes work. It's things I hate about myself the most. It's just my eyes hate the darkness. Even going outside and seeing like pitch black, it's just like worse for me than most people. So that's the only thing I wish was different. Otherwise, the directing, like I really did like the whole shed scene. I thought it was great to just have them in that one location, and just like the storytelling. It felt like I was expecting like stranger danger to pop up and stab our boy or something. It just felt like something bad was going to happen. In fact, that nothing did made it all the more horrifying. The only other thing I really want to mention about this episode is the cop. He scares the shit out of me. I feel like he is just doing his job. I feel like he's just kind of like in that detective questioning mode. But this dude gives me very much stranger danger vibes, and Chris Hansen needs to sit him on a chair and have a talk with him. He just gives me a very creepy vibe, and it disturbs me. But I'm glad he's a part of the show, because it's yet again another horrifying aspect about the show that's probably a safe bet. But it's, it definitely rubs me the wrong way. It may be a different time period, but still, it just creeps me out, and I don't think that's going to be an odd complaint for most people, being like, yeah, I also agree, the detective's rather creepy, but we're glad he's a part of the show, because it gives you a more normal human obstacle for Keiichi to try to deal with. Voice acting on point, the shocks on point. No one expected the Rika, no one expected the shed if you're new to this, and even if you did expect it, there clearly is going to be deviations that people weren't expecting. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. What did you think of this episode, and where do you think it might go next week? If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.